And this is Round True. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to, I guess, your Thursday. I'm Will Nunley here along with Storm Specialist Drew Richards, and this is part of our extended severe view weather coverage across the Tennessee River Valley tonight, and our broadcast partners and digital partners as well. We want to welcome all of you watching tonight from WOPC, WNKX, and Tennessee River Valley News. Drew, we meet again. We had a busy afternoon, and this is the Round 2 that we've been talking about now for a couple of days. It's upon us here, already making some noise for Perry and Hickman County, not at a severe warning yet, but right there on that edge, right?
That's right. Good morning, Will. Good morning once again, everybody. And as you said, very noisy thunderstorms here. Not quite to the severe level, but as we like to say, they're loud and proud as they're rolling through the local area. Lightning is going to be your primary threat right now with these thunderstorms. Probably getting some gusty winds, 30, maybe 40 miles per hour coming out of the Parsons area up towards the Lobelville area, northwestern Perry County. And that's about it. We are seeing some indications of maybe some small hail, small meaning less than quarter-size hail coming with this thunderstorm. And most importantly, we keep scanning the skies with our live local radar for rotation. Just like earlier, we do have a little bit of spin inside the thunderstorm due north of the Perryville area, northwest of Linden, pretty much coming right up and over our studios here in northwestern parts of Perry County in the next few minutes. So we do not, again, have any warnings in effect. So just wanted to come on and, like Will said, talk to you guys for a few minutes. Thunderstorms are waking a lot of people up, getting your attention, but they are just below that severe weather criteria right now as we speak. Will, I'm going to switch over my source. If you want to take my radar, we've got Memphis NexRad loaded up on our second radar source. And just looking at some of the hail that may be falling out of the thunderstorm northeast of Parsons again, radar estimating maybe a little bit larger than quarter size, but it's a very small hail core. If you remember, if you guys were watching this yesterday, very, very large hail cores with those supercell thunderstorms that were exploding over our local area. So this is a very tiny location compared to what we had just a few hours ago. But again, very noisy storm. You can see the little weak hook echo there, northwestern Perry County. Northwest of Linden, coming in pretty much right in and over Lobelville and all the way up towards the Bold Spring, northwest of Centerville, and probably eventually the Wrigley area, probably in the next 30 minutes or so. As we zoom out just a little bit.
I'm sorry. So not only am I working some logistics here along with you, Drew, but we have a frog in the studio that is mounted itself on the window. It's not in the studio. It is just right here on the edge of it. But anyway, so I am trying not to include him in our coverage here tonight. But we do have a little bit to show you here. Let's start while we're kind of watching this form, and we don't have any urgent warnings to bring everybody. We want to tell you why you're on. And why we're talking to you right now, folks, is because sometimes just getting the information out there and letting you know that, yes, we do, of course, have these storms in the area, but they're not severe, is some good information. And so that's what we're here to bring you right now. This is from one of our tower cameras here. This is in downtown Linden, but it's looking now to the north. And so what you're seeing there is the lightning from that Lobelville storm. And look how frequent that is. Wow. And so lots of thunder, lots of lightning with this, and it doesn't take long for us to pull up one of these cameras here and see this amount of lightning that's happening. And so you're hearing it. If you are in Perry and Hickman County, if you are in parts of Humphreys County, if you're near the interstate and all that area there just south of Waverly, you're hearing all of this. It's certainly going to keep the dogs awake and probably have them crawling in there like they are with us here in the studio right now. And so that is part of what we're experiencing here right now, at least on the Perry County side of things. And so we wanted to show you this a little bit, show you the skies, show you the full radar picture in real time with Severe View 360 Live Local Radar, and then kind of start to give you that perspective of what is developing to the west, because This round 2 is quickly upon us. And Drew, you were just showing us that NexRad there from Memphis, and we can certainly cut back to that if you'd like. But that is looking very well organized, and we do have a lot of warnings that are starting to come up with that as well.
Yeah, just in the last few minutes, a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. So thankfully, right now, in our local area, it looks like in the entire country, the only tornado warnings we have are over in South Carolina. So these are all going to be severe thunderstorm warnings. If you notice there on screen, that box right around the Memphis and Millington area, it looks a little bit different on your screen. That's because that's what we call a considerable, hard to talk here in the early morning hours, severe thunderstorm warning. That's for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, possibly coming through the Memphis and South Haven area as we speak. So what I want to bring your attention to real quick is as we do a loop on the radar here, notice the little thin blue and green line that's coming through Covington and Brownsville and the Humboldt, Tennessee area right now, right out ahead of those big thunderstorms. That's what we call an outflow boundary. So in the middle of summer, when we get these pop-up afternoon thunderstorms, if you'll notice, you get that big gust of wind, and then you get the heavy rain and the lightning right behind that. That's basically what we're looking at on radar. And that's kind of a good sign, because when the storms have an outflow boundary that far ahead of the updrafts, that tends to mean they are kind of choking themselves off. So the part from Covington, Tennessee over to Brownsville and northwest of Jackson, not quite getting my attention for being the strongest thing in the world.
And if you look at that polygon, looks like we've gone ahead, and they've put a warning with it. And so
sure
let me see if I can hop in here and get you the details of that real quick, because that's going to be worth talking about, and it has a big area associated with it. So we're going to bring up here our alert system. Excuse me, folks, as I make some quick adjustments here, and that we bring that to you, because we want to share this here as it is just coming down. And we thought that this might happen, which is why we came on here and kind of started our coverage a little bit tonight, or this morning rather. The National Weather Service in Nashville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Dickson County, northern Perry County, southern Humphreys County, and Hickman County in Middle Tennessee until 1:30. At 12:53, as a lot of us here are hearing and experiencing, a severe thunderstorm was located 12 miles south of Hurricane Mills, 13 miles north of Linden, moving east at 30 miles per hour, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail with this. So let's talk about some of the locations that are going to be experiencing this. Of course, we're experiencing a lot of it here across really all northern part of Perry County from Linden to the interstate. But this includes Dickson, Centerville, Lobelville, Bon Aqua, Mousetail Landing, Pinewood, Prim Springs, Lyles, Nunley, Bucksnort, and I-40 near the Tennessee River, all wrapped into this. And so let's head right back to radar there, where Drew is really looking at the different radar products that we have, and you can see the polygon there that is that has been drawn all from Lobelville over to Wrigley, and really on the outskirts there of downtown Dickson. And sure enough, it's making some noise as it rolls through tonight.
Yeah, Will, and just kind of a side note, we're still watching that rotation, still there. It is going to be just southwest of the Lobelville area right now. So as we flip back over to live local velocity scan, it's a little bit broad. So anytime we're looking at wind, and if we were here yesterday, you heard us talking about this. This is the velocity product, the storm relative velocity from our live local radar, not the NexRad, right here in our own backyard here in our area. We've got the red, we've got the green. So the green colors are wind blowing toward the radar. So from south to north here, north of Linden. And then the red is north to south wind. So right where those two meet, you do have circulation in the storm. But what I want to bring your attention to, thankfully, notice that big area of gray colors between the two red and green. That is great. So what that means is the entire thunderstorm is rotating, and it's rotating pretty significantly, but it's not quite tight enough. So think about a figure skater on ice that is spinning around with their arms sticking straight out. That basically is what we have in this thunderstorm right now. We've got the rotation. It's not particularly tight. It's rather broad rotation, and we'll have to see if that tightens up. So when that skater brings their arms in and they start spinning really fast, that's when we start worrying about a tornado in a storm. But right now, again, rotation is there, relatively strong rotation, but thankfully there's a gap there that everything's just not coming together right off the bat to produce a tornado. But again, north of Linden, southwest of Loboville is what we're looking at.
Yeah, and we have our weather frog again, folks. I apologize. That is, I know you can hear that coming through the speakers there. That is not intentional. That is not an additional alert system that we have. That is just a byproduct of being in the country, folks, and we're out here near a creek, so that's going to happen. All right, so wake up. This is one of those times where we want the alerts to hopefully be waking you up if you have a NOAA weather radio in your house, and if that has just sounded off in the past few minutes, and that you are opening up social media right now to join us. That's what we're here to do, is to let you know exactly what's happening, and you see that information there on the bottom of your screen. Severe thunderstorm warning for Dixon, Perry, Hickman, and Humphreys County until about 1:30 this morning. We watched this slowly build, and Drew, I was concerned, you know, one thing that we haven't talked a whole lot about tonight, but is a huge story across Middle Tennessee right now, is the flash flooding. And I've watched this now for about an hour start to gather with this storm, and it has not moved very quickly. And it just continues to almost build and build and build behind it. And it is dumping a lot of rain. And for several counties here in our area, that has meant big problems tonight, because we have several of our area rivers and creeks that are overflowing tonight and that are causing flooding in several communities. So I want folks to stay off the roads tonight. That is the guidance that's coming in from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency and a lot of local EMAs as well. As please don't drive. Even if you have one of those jobs, folks, where you have to leave super early, maybe call and see if you can get a little grace period on that, because there's so much rain falling with so much of this, Drew, that it is causing a situation. Let's bring in your product there that you have, and let folks kind of know what we're seeing there. And kind of, it looks like, because I just saw Henry County get wrapped up now in a warning as well. This line, these warnings are starting to intensify and move closer and closer to us.
Yeah, for sure. So as I click on that warning up there, notice we've got all of our areas just to the northwest of our first severe thunderstorm warning. They're basically what we call blanket severe thunderstorm warning, that entire line of storms from Humboldt all the way up to the Paris, Tennessee area. So instead of just trying to, you know, pinpoint one or two or four areas up and down that line of being the strongest, the Weather Service in Memphis is just saying, you know what, there's a potential all up and down this line of thunderstorms that's getting ready to come pretty much right across the U.S. Highway 79 corridor from Brownsville, Tennessee, up through Humboldt and all the way up to Paris. 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible all up and down that area again as that line of thunderstorms moves in. Quarter size hail is also likely in pockets. We won't see a big wall of, you know, quarter size hail coming in, but in pockets we could see some quarter to maybe ping pong ball size hail as that line of thunderstorms continues to move in. Wheels, we go back to our NexRad product out of Memphis. I did want to mention we're watching a secondary, or really multiple new thunderstorms developing. One just to the north of Clifton. It doesn't look crazy just yet. Not a lot of lightning in there, thankfully, but it is a new storm we'll have to watch as it moves up towards the downtown Linden area. Also, a couple other storms back just to the south of the Holiday community and near Lexington, Tennessee. Not severe, but they are popping up rapidly, and we'll have to keep our eye on those as well.
And let's go over some
back to our local radar.
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
Keeping myself muted so that way you're not hearing the frog in the background, folks. All right, so this is the severe thunderstorm that we're looking at here from the Memphis office. A severe thunderstorm for northeastern Henry County in West Tennessee until 1:45. And this is located over Paris Landing State Park, moving east at 30 miles per hour. Radar indicated, of course, of this severe thunderstorm. Hail damage to vehicles possible with this. And this is an area that earlier had hail reports, had hail damage that was confirmed there on the ground. So remain alert, they say, with this warning for a possible tornado, because tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. So if you spot a tornado, go at once to the storm shelter or small central room in your home. And again, this is all part of this tornado watch that remains in effect for our coverage area until at least 3 o'clock. For many of the counties here. This is the wider view here from our exclusive hazard alert system that shows you a statewide view of everything that's happening here, and this captures all three of these severe thunderstorm warnings that are in our area. So let's kind of review some of the basics. That Henry County severe thunderstorm warning, 5,000 people wrapped up in this. I think we don't have a population estimate on this one with Dixon and Humphreys, but I'll tell you what, there's going to be well over 10,000, almost 20,000 people wrapped up when you bring in that many counties as possible into this. So 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and this is going to be the one that still has 26 minutes remaining. This is the one that is trailing along I-40, and so it's right now about to hopefully wrap up what it's doing in Lobelville, but it is moving towards southern Humphreys County, Hickman County, and southwestern Dixon County, and this is there for 1:30. And again, we're still going to get some of these special weather alerts. We're still going to get some of these flash flood warnings. We have seen, as we've moved on down here, some of these flash flood warnings that are still there and will be there for hours. This one down here is expiring in 9 hours because of some of the heavy rainfall that some of these areas are experiencing. So I know that we like to get kind of hung up sometimes on the word tornado, but I don't want you to just focus on that, and don't just focus on the wind, because there's so many hazards here in a situation like this that can be very dangerous, including the impressive size hail that we've seen these storms produce throughout today, and also the flash flooding, which is a huge story right now for a lot of Middle Tennessee. This is a live look at one of our network of weather cameras. This is downtown Linden, looking north towards Lobelville, looking north towards this storm system that is warned right now for Dixon, Perry, Hickman, and Humphreys counties until 1:30 this morning. And Drew, tell us what you're looking at there. I think that you're looking at, it looks like radar estimates for rainfall totals as we're telling this rain story as well.
That is correct. So I'm looking at 24-hour rainfall estimates, and honestly, a lot of this has fallen in the last 6. So this is your last 6 hours worth of rainfall. And as we go over and kind of query some of this data here locally, you've got easily 1.5 inches, most of that falling within the last hour or two here in our local area. That's going to be northern parts of Decatur County and coming into northern parts of Perry County as well. So watch out for some flash flooding anywhere you see these yellow and orange shades of color coming into the Lobelville area. Very heavy rainfall. But as we zoom back out, look regionally, notice up in Kentucky, we've got over 4 to 5 inches of rain being depicted up there in that purple and black shade of color, and over towards Lewisburg and Fayetteville and Huntsville, Alabama, where you've had those big training supercells all evening. 2 to 5 inches of rain widespread in those areas. And again, that's just in the last 6 hours. We can take that all the way down to 1 hour. And there again, you can see anywhere in the yellow shade of color, watch out for ponding of water on the roadways, because that's where we're picking up over 1 inch of rainfall in 1 hour. And that can cause some flash flooding issues when you see that amount of rain in that short amount of time.
And I want to try to get to some of the questions that we're getting here tonight, because we appreciate all of you who are streaming along with us on our various digital platforms, including Tennessee River Valley News tonight. Hannah's wanting to know how it's looking for Hohenwald, and this is one of those areas, of course, Hannah, as you know, that had a rough afternoon. And right now you're in good shape. You're not included in this warning, so you're going to be hearing this, but you're not included in it right now. But your night is not over, because a lot of this has not reached a lot of these storms. Okay, we've got a tornado warning, so I'm going to pause on that for just a second, and let's start to talk about this tornado warning. So this is now some of that rotation that Drew was hinting at earlier, and it looks like that has resulted in a tornado warning for northeastern Perry County and western Hickman County in Middle Tennessee until 1:30. At 1:06, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Linden, moving east at 35 miles per hour. And again, this is going to be including areas such as Hickman County, including Pinewood, Lobelville, and Pleasantville. Rural areas, northeastern Perry, western Hickman, including Pinewood, Lobelville, and Pleasantwood. We're going to go right now to live Severe View 360 radar. You can see this. I don't actually see that translating yet into, let me see if you've got it, Drew, on yours, because I think you will.
Yep,
as we take a look at where that new polygon may have been drawn.
There we go.
Okay, so take us into this.
If you want to keep it, sure, if you want to keep it on the Memphis radar here just for a second on my view, that is very strong rotation at the upper levels. We're looking several thousand feet above the ground, but this is concerning because, as we talked about earlier, rotation usually starts in the mid and upper levels of the storm and then translate down closer to the surface. So right now, crossing State Highway 13, and Will, if you want to work on your downtown camera, maybe seeing if you can point that thing due north.
That's exactly
see if
what
we get
we're
a view
doing
on this here in a minute. Perfect, with some of the lightning, because this is only going to be, let's get a distant measurement in here. This is going to be 5 miles due north, almost northeast of downtown Linden, crossing State Highway 13 again as we speak. So
and
if we
friends
go over to our
listening
live
to us
local
in Perry and Hickman County, in northern Perry County, anywhere from Linden to Lobelville, I want you to call your neighbors. Make sure that they're awake. Make sure they're paying attention. This is what we're worried about with these nighttime storms, because we now have one that's resulted in a tornado warning. So make sure that they are awake, because not everybody has weather radios in their homes. So do me a favor, as you're watching our coverage, send a text to your loved ones. Make sure that they are aware of this. Encourage them to stream along. Go to their safe place right now. We have a tornado warning right now for Perry and Hickman County. Drew, go ahead.
Will, do you have us on the radio as well, or do you need to step away and do that?
Yes.
Perfect. Good deal. Making sure. So yeah, this is, again, with our live local radar, the rotation is displaced just a little bit. So
actually,
that's why
let me
loving
verify that,
this
Drew.
tool.
You've brought up a good
Sure.
point. I think we are. Let me verify, but you go ahead and lead things for a while.
Perfect.
I'm going to bring you back in on your radar and hang there with it. I'll
That's
be
fine.
back momentarily.
Yep, that's fine. So we're on again, Memphis NextRad. We're copying this, looking with our live local radar, and we don't see any indication of debris being lofted just yet with this thunderstorm. So good news that we do not have a tornado debris signature, but I still need you to go to your tornado safe place. If you're just waking up, maybe the weather radio woke you up, cell phones or anything else, maybe a phone call or text message. If you're again in Hickman or Perry counties, we've got a brand new tornado warning that was just issued. It goes for about another 20 minutes or so to the bottom of the hour. We're tracking the rotation between Lobelville and Linden. This is crossing State Highway 13, about 5 miles north of downtown Linden, Tennessee. And it is on the general track to move towards the Centerville area. So you guys in Centerville, Hickman County, you are in the tornado warning polygon. You've got maybe 10 minutes or so before the storm starts to approach your area, Centerville downtown. But don't wait. Go ahead and calmly get the family up, get the kids up, get the animals up, and go to your tornado safe place. You need to be lowest floor, away from windows. And if you have something to put over your head to protect your head from flying debris, even if it's not a tornado, we could get 60 to 70 mile per hour straight line winds with this tornadic thunderstorm now. Again, south of Lobelville, north of Linden. Fairly unpopulated area out through here, but we still have homes. We still have businesses being affected. And again, looking at Memphis radar, looking at our live local radar, you see the little hook echo here northeast of Linden now, and you see the hail indication as well. The hail size, thankfully, has come down just a little bit over the last few scans. So I don't think we have that very large destructive hail that we had earlier this afternoon in some locations, but we still could have nickel to quarter size hail falling out of the storm, mainly in the Lobelville area. And again, a tornado warning continues. Let's see if we've got an update from the Weather Service really quick. Nothing yet. We'll probably get an update from them in a couple minutes. But again, we're talking about northeastern Perry County and western Hickman County, and that goes until 1:30. At 1:06, when they issued this warning, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Linden, or just to the north, moving east at 35. If you're outdoors or in a vehicle, flying debris will be dangerous to you. It's going to be mainly over unpopulated areas of Perry and Hickman, but it does include the following locations again: Pinewood, Lobelville, and Pleasantville as the storm moves north and east. So again, if you're just waking up, tuning in with us, tornado warning, Perry and Hickman counties is why we're on air with you this evening. And we continue to watch rotation. It's there, but it's not the craziest, strongest rotation we've seen all day. So good news is, again, if this thing is about to drop a tornado, I don't see any indication that it's been on the ground. You know, we may have a tornado at any moment, but the rotation's still rather broad. It's strong. Don't get me wrong. We have strong rotation in there, but looking at our live local radar, looking at the surrounding NextRads, I'm thinking that we've got spin in the atmosphere, probably a mean wall cloud, maybe even a funnel cloud dropping out of the storm east of Highway 13. Goodness. Well, on that scan we just got, we do have tighter rotation now. So the storm is getting stronger. Rotation is getting better developed now, just east of Highway 13. It's going to be pretty much splitting the uprights right in between Lobelville and Linden. So again, about 5 miles south of Lobelville, 5 miles north of Linden is where we've got the strongest rotation, and this is going to be moving into Hickman County probably in the next 3 to 4 minutes.
All right, so everybody watching right now, if you're waking up, maybe you've gotten a text, maybe you've gotten a phone call waking you up in Perry and Hickman County, we want to welcome everybody listening right now on WOPC FM and WNKX FM in Centerville and Perry County, because we want to bring you this important coverage tonight, as well as all of you streaming along tonight with us on Tennessee River Valley News and our other partner sites tonight. This is the round 2 that we've been talking about, and right off the bat, as soon as it really starts to fire up in our area, we have a tornado warning that has come out for Perry and Hickman County. We have thousands of people that are under the gun for this one that have been for past few minutes already with this one. You're looking at it here live on Severe View 360 now. Drew, is this our Camden radar, or is this still out of the Nashville?
It is.
Okay, so this is what
is
you're
our Camden, and this is.
Yeah, so what you're getting is a very unique and a view that not many outlets can give you, folks, because this is a view from our live local radar that is just stationed in Camden. And so this is bringing us much down, closer to the atmosphere, much closer to ground level here, where we can give you some very detailed scans of exactly what is happening with this storm. Drew, back out just a little bit, and let's try to get some perspective for folks of just where we are. Okay, so now you see some town names. You see Lobelville, you see Linden, you see this right along Highway 13, now to the east of Highway 13, as this continues to march through the Cane Creek area. This is going to be moving right on through near Highway 438, making its way to Centerville. So again, Centerville, Hickman County, this warning is about to be on your line. So this is going through a lot of that area right now with the Cane Creek community through there. So no doubt this is a storm that is making noise, as we have been showing you here in some of the double boxes tonight. This is our camera from downtown Linden that is looking due northeast. And is showing that showing that frequent lightning that's associated with this storm as well. So make sure that if you're in this warned area, if you are between Lobelville and Centerville, if you're in Marsh Creek, if you're along Highway 438 East, that you are in your safe place right now, that you're in the innermost room of your building. If you have a storm shelter, you need to be in that storm shelter right now. If you are in the lowest room or lowest level of your home, make sure that you're covering yourself, protecting yourself from possible flying debris away from windows and doors, and take those extra precautions right now as we have this now tornado warning right here in the heart of our coverage area for Hickman and Perry County. And Drew, as you're looking at this on Severe View 360, and we're looking at this very detailed scan here from Lobelville, how is this holding up in terms of rotation for you that you're seeing?
Still a lot stronger, Will, than it was just a couple scans ago. So when we first got this tornado warning, it was crossing Highway 13. I think the Weather Service did an excellent job putting this tornado warning out right as this rotation was starting to intensify. But yeah, now, if you remember a minute ago, we were talking about, if you were joining us on our social media feeds watching the video, we were talking about how we had the rotation and a little bit of space in between the spin that meant it was rather broad rotation. We've really lost that now. We really have tight rotation now coming right up on the county line between Perry and Hickman counties. Looking at this on a couple different, looking at Fort Campbell, Kentucky NEXRAD, Nashville NEXRAD, and every radar scan that we get continues to get stronger and stronger with this rotation couplet. So we've got a very healthy thunderstorm now right on the county line, moving out of Perry, moving into Hickman County. So we should be getting a Weather Service update here in just the next few minutes on that polygon. They'll probably shave some of Perry County out as this is just about to cross the county line. Looks like we do not have an update from them just yet. But we go back to how hard it's raining mode on the radar. Notice we've got the little hook echo that we saw earlier. So it's kind of a ragged storm on our live local radar. That's a good thing. Anytime we see a storm that doesn't have that well-pronounced hook echo, that's always a good sign. But when we're turning off the rain and turning on the wind, unfortunately, we still... Was that a new warning that just popped? No, that was the old warning.
I want to get real quick to a couple of questions that we're getting in here from the audience at this hour. And folks asking if you're clear in Columbia, Tennessee, and the question is, from this warning, yes, but not for the night. Because you see everything that is still developing, and what we're not showing you with that scan, because this is our local radar, is that there's much more building behind it. So those of you in Columbia, I know that you're apprehensive tonight. I know that your nerves are fried, but this is just now the start of round 2. So no, to Kinsey and Madison there that are wondering, you're just not done yet with Columbia. Lewisburg area, right now you're looking pretty good. And again, letting us know that they're already starting to see some of that storm activity in Hickman County as this continues to march onward there. So we'll get to your questions absolutely as quick as we can tonight, but most importantly, what we want to do is make sure that everybody is aware of this tornado warning right now, making its way down Highway 430 east towards the Hickman County line, with parts of this storm already entering Hickman County at this hour, and it's going to continue for the next several minutes, and so we want you to be in your safe place there. What is the latest guidance that you're seeing there, Drew? And I'll check our alert system for additional warnings at this time.
Just got an update from the Weather Service as of 1:17 a.m. Tornado warning remains in effect until 1:30 for northeastern Perry and western Hickman. At 1:17, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 9 miles northeast of Linden, moving east at 35. So again, continues to be a radar indicated rotation. Take this storm seriously. It could drop a tornado at any time, but I always like to bring the good news to you. Radar indicated rotation means so far the Weather Service does not have any reports of this tornado touching the ground or doing damage. So Centerville, Lobelville, technically Lobelville, you're still in the polygon, but it is quickly moving away from you guys, so we can give you the all clear from this one storm, like Will just said, not for the night. We can give you the all clear from this one storm here in the next few minutes. Pinewood and the Pleasantville area, you guys are still in that tornado warning polygon.
And so we're watching this for just a little bit longer because this has some life left on it. We are less than 10 minutes left on this tornado warning, but that doesn't mean that it cannot be reissued as it starts to move to Centerville. So I want folks in Nunley to be on alert for this and get ready for this to start to impact your area very quickly. North of Centerville, anywhere from downtown Centerville to the interstate to over to 840, you need to be on alert for this because this is a quickly moving storm, and already about 6,000 people wrapped up in this particular warning. Radar indicated tornado. We don't have any reports of damage coming in from the ground, but again, that takes a minute for people to, if there is damage in the area, especially at this hour, to know it's there, because especially if they've lost power, it's going to take a minute to kind of get word out. We want everybody to be safe, first of all, and make sure that you are in your safe area for this. And we're watching that polygon morph just a little bit as it starts to cut out parts of Perry County, and that's good. If we can get some people out of this, that's great. But again, we're moving towards Nunley, Lyles, Centerville, Bucksnort. All of you now are in this area where you're going to be under the gun for this. We've been watching the vibrant lightning show coming in tonight from one of our downtown cameras. This is downtown Linden looking east-northeast and seeing some of that lightning there in the distance, but it's about out of range for that at this point. But certainly we have seen lots and lots of lightning here with this, Drew. And how is this looking in terms of storm health? I mean, we're starting to get some more scans in here. How is it holding together?
On live local radar, about the same. Rotation's still there, but it's not getting any weaker. It's not getting any stronger, so it's still very concerning. West-southwest of Centerville. I don't like the trends on our NEXRAD radar. So with the NEXRAD, with it being a little bit further away, you can't see the spin at the lowest levels nearly as good, but you can see the entire structure of the storm a little bit better. So, Will, if you want to take our other radar source real quick, we're still, again, looking at our NEXRAD radar out of Nashville, I believe. Notice that hook echo that we've really got showing up there on the southwest side of the storm. So if I rewind this just a few scans as we go back, that's where the tornado warning was issued. You see we have a broad hook in there south of Lobelville, and then the warning was issued. And now notice how the whole storm is just kind of getting that classic shape a little bit more. So that is something that we don't like to see, and we'll have to continue to monitor this as it moves pretty much due east. Centerville, you're probably going to be getting some heavy rainfall, a lot of lightning, maybe some hail here in the next few minutes, and we'll have to continue to watch that rotation to see if it comes right into town or maybe just stays just south. But I think right now, Will, it's on track to come right through the middle of Centerville.
All right, and we want everybody in Centerville to be on alert, to go ahead right now, call your neighbors, call the family, make sure that you are helping to spread the word this morning, that is a possibility here, that this is coming right towards parts of Nunley, Lyles, Bucksnort, making its way over to I-40 and just south of I-40 right now. 7 minutes left in this tornado warning here, Drew, and I'm going to have to look over some other information here in just a second, as we're both kind of getting a lot of information in here right now. So we want to track storm reports for you folks. So if you do have anything to let us know safely, go ahead and do that in chat. So let's review where we have this Hickman County warning right now. And again, this is a tornado warning remaining in effect until 1:30 for northeastern Perry and western Hickman counties. 6 minutes remaining. If this is allowed to expire, we're not sure quite yet because we haven't gotten word, but it could be reissued. And again, we're looking right now essentially at Centerville, Pinewood, Pleasantville, Bucksnort. All of these areas need to be on alert as this continues to move towards you. You're seeing it outlined in the polygon right there on the screen from our live local Severe View 360 radar. Earlier we were seeing a lot of the lightning, and you can still barely see it in the clouds there in the distance as we have some of that lightning there overhead. But it is starting to subside here in the Linden and Lobelville areas. This continues moving east here this morning. So we've had some questions from folks wanting to know how are we looking in terms of activity and warnings for places like Murray County and Columbia. And just to the south of us here, right now, you're not included this morning and you're looking pretty good, but this is just the start of round 2 of these storms. And so we still have a lot of time ahead of us here as well. Excuse me, folks, I need just a second here to do some... All right, had to respond here to a couple of things. Drew and I are trying to make sure that we're also navigating some questions in from folks and getting some storm reports in. So, Drew, if you want to kind of take us around, and let's actually widen the view as we are watching the latest on this. I don't know if we want to, I may even pull up one of your radar products if you want to kind of give us,
sure,
if you have Memphis still pulled up, and you could show us, for everybody who's watching, because we have a lot of viewers from across really the region right now that are wanting to know how round 2 is shaping up. And so we're seeing some of that even as we move over here to Severe View. You can see these severe thunderstorm warning polygons, and here's what that looks like on the Memphis radar, and I'll let you take it from here.
Sure thing. And our radar's been a little bit stubborn tonight. We're on Fort Campbell. Let me see if we can get it to force switch to Memphis because it's not really wanting to do that. There seems to be a polygon right on top of the radar side. There we go. We got it switched. So our next concern, area wide, all day, yesterday, up through the evening hours, and now, right now, we've had these isolated monster supercell storms. So if you've been under them, and many of us have, it's been a heck of a storm, large hail, damaging winds, some tornado damage, obviously. But the one thing we're watching now is area wide. I don't care where you are in our local area, you are going to be impacted from this line of broken showers and thunderstorms moving in from the northwest. It's about to be becoming.
Yep. And I want to show you, by the way, that last frame that you're showing, they have allowed the tornado warning to expire. So this doesn't mean that this isn't still a decent cell that is moving into Centerville that is over Hickman County. And so for those of you listening to us on the radio on WNKX in Centerville, make sure that you are still exercising caution with this storm because these change quickly. These storms, as the National Weather Service has been warning us throughout the afternoon and in the evening hours, that they have the chance to intensify quickly. And so we have that threat still there. But again, Drew, on this wide picture here, this looks like the heart of round 2 that we're seeing over places like Brownsville and Huntington, because they start to look towards Timptonville. Looks like we have some calming there, but we still have a little bit more to go with this.
And a new warning coming out. You'll see that pop up on our screen here in just a moment. Benton, Carroll, Decatur, Henderson, and Madison counties in Tennessee. New severe thunderstorm warning. 1-inch hail, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and they do have what we call that tornado possible tag on that severe thunderstorm warning. So that simply means that we could have an area or several areas of quick spin-up tornadoes as this line of thunderstorms moves in. So again, Benton, Carroll, Decatur, Henderson, Madison counties, about 40,000 people included in that severe thunderstorm warning polygon that is just coming on the screen.
Yeah, and let's go over some of the locations mentioned in that. Lexington, Camden, Natchez Trace State Park, Parsons, New Johnsonville, Decaturville, Blue Goose, Parker's Crossroads, Darden, Wildersville, Clarksburg, let's see, Cedar Grove, Rock Hill. You're all in this severe thunderstorm warning, kind of wide reaching there. 47 minutes remaining on that one. It's going to take a little while. And these are starting to build, folks, because now we have, look at how much, as we have this wider view of our alert system, how many are building here, because we want to let folks know about this one in Dixon, Hickman, Murray, and Williamson County. And this is probably the result of that cell we were just tracking, because they want folks to be on alert with this area. And so this is a new severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Dixon County and Middle Tennessee, northwestern Murray County, west central Williamson County, and Hickman County in Middle Tennessee until 2 o'clock. This severe thunderstorm was located right over Centerville, moving east at 35 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible with this storm, along with some hail, quarter-size hail possible. And you could have damage to vehicles in a storm like that. Locations in this particular warning with 31 minutes remaining are going to be Dixon, Centerville, Burns, Santa Fe, Bon Aqua, Pinewood, Prim Springs, Lyles, Nunley, and Bucksnort. This includes the following major highways we want to alert you to. Interstate 40 between mile markers 149 and 158, and 840 between mile markers 1 and 11. And so it's basically that line there that Williamson County and Hickman County share along 840. That's what we're seeing this. So severe thunderstorm warning encompassing Macon, Robertson, Sumner. Severe thunderstorm warning encompassing Dixon, Hickman, Murray, and Williamson. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. And again, this dangerous one that we're watching, especially with a tornado possible tag, is going to be for Benton, Carroll, Decatur, Henderson, and Madison. And we have a way to go on that one, Drew, as we start to look at this one. And if we want to, I'm trying to see where we had the last frames there on severe view. It's fine. So if we want to kind of bring it into Lexington just a little bit, and let's start to alert folks, because as you can see, this warned area, this polygon really snuggles up right again, once again, to Perry County. So Perry County, I know that we are through with this tornado warning that we had earlier, but that doesn't mean we're done at all, because you see what's right here now affecting Huntington, our neighbors over in Parker's Crossroads, Lexington, Parsons, all in wrapped up in about 2 different severe thunderstorm warnings with this as well.
That is correct. And one thing that I do want to bring the attention to, looking at rotation, we do again have areas of spin inside the line itself, but I don't see anything very strong, especially compared to our Centerville storm. So looking at the comparison, look on the right-hand side of your screen where we've got our Centerville severe thunderstorm warning. Notice all the lightning, so much more lightning in that storm than we have in the actual line of storms itself. Then we flip over to rotation. Again, you see a brighter green color moving into Centerville. So again, stronger rotation in that supercell than we have up and down the line of thunderstorms. So I think what we're going to see with this line, pockets of damaging wind. I don't expect every single location in that warning that was just issued to see damaging wind gust or quarter-size hail. But if you're watching along with us and you can see radar, we've got pockets of red mixed in with all the yellow and all the green in the line of thunderstorms. So where your house is, when this line of thunderstorms come through, you may get 5 minutes of heavy rain. You may get 25, 30, 35 mile per hour wind gust, and that's it. That will be all you see for the rest of the night. And once this line moves through, you will be done for the severe weather threat. But on the flip side of that, if you get under a heavier part of this line of thunderstorms, you may have torrential rainfall, quarter-size hail, 60-plus mile per hour damaging wind gust, and even a possible spin-up tornado come right down your neighborhood street. So that's why we're staying with this evening and overnight, because, again, we don't want to discount this being not as significant as a severe threat of what we saw yesterday, because it is. We could still have embedded tornadoes. And we've already had, I'm looking at a couple damage reports coming out of northwest Tennessee from this line of thunderstorms. Let me back it up. Up in Weakley County, looks like Fire Department and Rescue is saying we had some trees down in the Sharon community, and also trees down on Highway 431 in Martin, Tennessee. So we have had some damaging wind gusts in a few locations. And back near Millington, Tennessee, in the Memphis area, they reported a 59 mile per hour wind gust at the airport out there just a little bit over 30 minutes ago. So again, pockets of damaging wind, pockets of hail and everybody's going to see rain and at least 30+ mile per hour winds, and some of you guys may see damaging winds as this comes through.
Yeah, and Drew, we've had some questions tonight, people wanting to know specific areas, and we're going to do our best, of course, to let you know exactly what's happening in your neighborhood. That's what we try to do differently than some of the larger organizations, is we can spend time with you going right down to your town and let you know. We've had questions about places like Lewisburg, Summertown, downtown Hohenwald that's a little nervous from things that happened earlier today. Right now, those areas are looking good. You're not included in any of these warnings right now, and you don't have a whole lot of rain on your doorstep, but again, we're just now starting round 2. And so we have all of this now that is really in a much more defined line, as we were showing you there from the NEXRAD radar out of Memphis. And Drew, I'm actually going to go back to your screen and kind of show that to everybody as we're coming in, because you can see this large line. So if you can't make out some of the town names and all you're able to see, maybe you're watching us on your mobile device, and so you're like, Will, I can't see all this stuff. Right now, places like Hohenwald, most of Perry County, Savannah, Hardin County, Wayne County, you're looking good. Even in Columbia, Murray County, you don't have anything really causing any problems right now. Hopefully, friends, it can stay that way. But right now, we still have to get through this area that has plenty of energy along with it, and has an entire line of severe thunderstorm warnings that we're watching. And when we pull up the alert system, we have a very busy alert system tonight with thousands of people involved in these warnings. We have this one for Dixon, Hickman, Murray, and Williamson County. The one that I want to draw the attention to is the one that we've been watching very carefully. And actually, Drew, that's a great view. I really like that view of how it's highlighting, again, all of these different areas that are under these warnings. But I want to pay attention here and just read off, because we have 40,000 people involved in this one single warning here. And this is going to be the severe thunderstorm warning for Henderson County, southern Benton, Carroll, Madison, and Decatur until 2:15. And this is going to be 8 miles northwest of Lexington, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So again, here, let's go through some town names and break this down for people to make sure that you know exactly where this is heading towards. Lexington, Camden, Natchez Trace State Park, Parsons, New Johnsonville, Clarksburg, Parker's Crossroads, Dollar in Cedar Grove, Jeanette, Rock Hill. All of these areas are included in this, and there's 40 minutes remaining. Drew, these storms are not racing through here, and that's been a concern to the National Weather Service throughout the day, because so much rain has fallen. And that is the other thing that we really want to point out to everybody tonight, is don't just get caught up in the rotating wind, because we have the hail hazard, and we also have a lot of rain that has come down with this. We're seeing the radar indicating that really almost statewide at this point, with all of the rain that we have had, and we have a lot of rain to come.
That's right. And thankfully, I think if we continue to have flooding threats, we don't want to see this line stall out. So right now, Will, the line is moving east-southeast at about 30 miles per hour, which is a decent clip. Our supercells earlier were moving closer to 20 or 25. So like you said, normally we're used to seeing, when we have tornadoes in these parts, 40, 50+ mile per hour storm speed. And then the squall lines can race through here at, 60+ miles per hour. And that's not the case today. So these storms have really kind of made themselves at home here in our backyard. And I know if you and everybody else is pretty much ready for the sunshine to come back out tomorrow and get all this behind us. But yes, more heavy rainfall. If you live in a flood-prone area, if you have a basement that likes to flood or something like that, just kind of stay on alert tonight, because, again, one more big round of heavy rain, torrential rainfall when these line of thunderstorms continue to move through, and then lighter, what we call stratiform rain, or just that steady rainfall behind the line. Let's actually turn on our national radar product so you can see exactly. Oops, nope, I think I killed that. No, that radar says, hey, it's late, he's tired, he's going to take a break on us. So
if you have
as we zoom back out,
and if you do have a way to put a time track, because we're getting some requests, if possible, for some time tracks, specifically the estimated time for Parsons and Darden. And when we had this pulled up earlier, especially when we were kind of reading some of the warning, it was giving a couple of these time frames here really very soon for these areas. While you're reloading that, let me bring folks over here to Severe View 360. And so we do have a lot of this moving very quickly towards the Parsons area, New Johnsonville. This is going to be on you here pretty quickly. And I think you can do a track and possibly give some folks some more exact times on some of these areas as well.
Are they asking about the line of storms?
Yeah, the line of storms, including this
Perfect.
warned area, especially what's caught up in the warning right now with this one that's over Benton, Decatur. This one that was issued here that has 37 minutes on it.
We sure can. So let's go back to our local radar, because what I want to do is go just a little bit ahead of that line of thunderstorms, because you're probably going to get that outflow boundary that we talked about, which is just your big gust of wind, maybe 5 minutes before you get the heavy rainfall, the cloud ground lightning, and possible hail. So what we can do is we can go in and draw a storm track on the screen here that will pretty much encompass the entire area with the warning and move that off to the east-southeast at about 30 miles per hour. So as we continue further south and east, and let's zoom in just a little bit so we can get some of our town names to pop up. There you go. Notice we've got Lexington area pretty much on top of you guys now. We've got the Waverly community in about 10 minutes. Parsons, you guys are looking at just before 2 a.m. So somewhere between 1:55 and 2 a.m. coming into the Parsons area. Decaturville right after 2 a.m. Scottshill about the same time. The Sardis community right around 2:10 a.m. Lobelville, this line of thunderstorms looks to start moving into your area around 2:15. The Saltillo area down in northern Hardin County, 2:21 in the morning. And then finally, Linden, downtown areas of Linden, Tennessee, Perry County, right around 2:25 a.m. So again, that's moving east-southeast at about 30 miles per hour for your main arrival time for the line of thunderstorms.
And we've had some questions tonight about Hohenwald and Summertown and areas down through there near Mount Pleasant. Yep, you do still have a little bit of a shower starting to develop there, a little bit of a storm. We'll keep an eye on it, but you're going to hear some thunder and probably start to see some lightning in a little while with that one. As again, that's kind of developing ahead, detached from some of these other areas that we're tracking right now. And we'll continue to give you some of the latest tracks on this as well as it continues to march east here, producing a whole lot of severe thunderstorm along the way. And hopefully we can say that we're done with the tornado warnings for tonight, but you just never know, because the National Weather Service continues to emphasize in their messaging to us tonight that these could spit up very quickly, that the scene could change very quickly, and unfortunately we could still have some of that. Your reports are also important to us. If you had any hail fall from the warned areas that we've been through tonight, let us know in some of the comments below, and we'll do our best to pass that along and track those as well. And what are you looking at in terms of, is this a possible hail center here? What are you looking at there, Drew?
It is. Looks like that hail core come right through downtown Centerville. So if any of you guys are watching or listening from the Centerville area, let us know in the comments if you had any hail at your location, because that's not the biggest hail core again we've seen all day, but it is showing at least quarter size up in the atmosphere. Whether that's reaching the ground or not, being quarter size, unknown. Just on our last scan, that hail size is going down just a little bit. So maybe just a little bit smaller than quarter size, maybe closer to nickel size hail coming now east of the Centerville downtown area. Rotation is still there between Centerville and Duck River, right along, it looks like State Highway 50, but not enough to have a tornado warning. So definitely good news there. As we continue to track that isolated supercell that is moving now out of Centerville and will be moving up towards the Fairview, north of Spring Hill and the Franklin area over the next hour. You guys watching in around the Columbia area, Murray County, obviously that devastating tornado earlier that we tracked. Yeah. This storm will stay north of the tornado damage area. Yeah. East side of Columbia all the way across I-65 there.
Because
so again,
Drew,
the storm will stay north.
We had fatalities in that situation, and search and rescue continues in that area all through the night. They've had areas they've had to close off. Schools, of course, are closed, and so they're continuing their search and rescue operations there tonight. So hopefully this will give them a break as well. We also want to let you know that there are a lot of folks in shelters tonight in several communities, including Perry and Hickman County, have their storm shelters open, and several community churches have folks there, and some of those were slated to close about 2 o'clock. You may not want to do that yet. You may wait until this can pass through, at least for what's over us right now in Lexington, Parsons, moving through that area. Wait till this storm, all this is going to be moving east, so wait till it can move through the area before we start to sound an all clear and have anybody leave those safe areas, because we don't want people on the road, and we definitely don't want people leaving the security of a shelter and going to a less secure building right in the middle of what we're calling round 2 with this. And Drew, as we look to the west, we see some improvement. I mean, I'm looking there at the corner of the screen, seeing Dyer, seeing Trenton looking good with just rain. You know, is the hope that what we're seeing right now, once we can move this on east, that we're going to see some calming?
That's it. That's what I was trying to load a little bit ago, and our radar decided it needed to take a quick cat nap. But as you see, like you said, Northwest Tennessee, much calmer conditions. So right now, if you're listening to us on the radio, what we're looking at, Clarksville, Tennessee, picture a map, picture a radar map, and a big line of thunderstorms going from Clarksville, Tennessee, back down to the southwest to Jackson, Tennessee, and all the way back into the Memphis area. That is the last round that we've been talking about for a few days now. And once that clears our local area, rain will continue for a few hours. You'll get that big rumbling thunder on the backside of these thunderstorms that may last for a few hours after the intense line of thunderstorms moves through. But the threat for tornadoes will be over for the night. The threat for damaging winds and large hail will be over once we get this line through our local area. So again, you know, we were hoping to have this thing in and out by 1 or 2 a.m., but good old Mother Nature decided she wanted to slow everything down for us just a little bit. And, you know, I think give it another hour, maybe 2, and we'll be getting this thing out of the entire local area.
And in the meantime, we have a buffet of severe thunderstorm warnings to deal with. One was issued just seconds ago. Let's take you to that one. The National Weather Service in Nashville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for western Dixon County and Middle Tennessee, southwestern Montgomery County, southeastern Stewart, Houston, and Humphreys. So this is one of these areas that is just a corner of so many different counties. So let's go over that list one more time, because we have 45 minutes in this new severe thunderstorm warning for western Dixon, southwestern Montgomery, southeastern Stewart, Houston, and Humphreys County. This will last until 2:30. At 1:43, a severe thunderstorm was located near Camden, right over our radar site there, moving east at 40 miles per hour. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail associated with this. And this can include areas like Waverly, Camden, Aaron, New Johnsonville, McEwen, Tennessee Ridge, Hurricane Mills, Cumberland City, and the Houston County Airport. So make sure that you are paying attention to this. We are still under this severe thunderstorm warning just issued, 45 minutes remaining. And as we take a step back, take a look at all of the different severe thunderstorm warnings that we have right now for across our areas. And Drew, I'll let you zoom in on that one.
Sure thing. So I think it's this area coming out of the Camden area, like you said, into Waverly, into the Bold Spring and McEwen areas over the next few minutes. That is like we just talked about, an enhanced part or a stronger part of this line of thunderstorms. We do have some areas of rotation just to the east of the Holiday community, just to the southeast of Camden. So we're going to watch that embedded area of rotation, because this is almost like a little mini supercell in the line of thunderstorms. It's going to be coming up through Humphreys County and to the Bold Spring, Waverly, McEwen areas over the next 30 to 45 minutes or so. So right now, again, strongest area of rotation east of Holiday, northwest of Lobelville. Looks like it will stay out of Perry County with that rotation couplet that we're watching.
Looks like we're getting reports of a couple power lines down Old Beardstown Road in Perry County, so make sure that you're exercising caution. And again, fortunately, this is not the type of day that a lot of people are out on the road. And no matter where you're streaming along and watching us or listening to us right now, that you're staying off the roads if at all possible. And certainly give crews a chance to get out, survey damage themselves, and make sure that we don't continue to have any hazards out there. Lots to survey, lots to kind of drive through and inspect after this. And that's something that a lot of the sheriff's deputies do across these counties. Whenever they've had a storm move through, they kind of cruise some back roads and see if there are any limbs to report down, things like that. And so that process is happening. Let them finish that in coordination with their highway departments. And certainly if you do have any damage in your neighborhood, or if you want to let us know anything that is happening on your street level, we will be watching those comments and certainly pass that along as we can here tonight. But we do have a lot of our northern counties included in this. We had a lot of problems in our southern counties earlier for round one. Round two really seems to be focused on a lot of our northern counties. And really anywhere from Jackson, Madison County over to pretty much Franklin at this point. You're probably, if you're north of I-40, you're involved in a severe thunderstorm warning. And so that's something to, may help you visualize it if you can't see it in too much detail with the stream that you're seeing right now on your mobile device. But anywhere from Jackson over to just the outskirts west of Franklin, we have 3, if not 4 different severe thunderstorm warnings right now that are in those areas that are impacting those folks right now. Fortunately, I'm not seeing really any damage reports from these areas that have just been allowed to expire, where hopefully we have made it through the situation that was involving Perry County and parts of downtown Centerville and Hickman County without any considerable damage there, especially after we saw some reports of hail, so that's good. And if you have anything to let us know about, we'll be glad to do that as well.
Yep, and Will, a little bit of good news. The area back near Jackson, Tennessee. Yes, we all are, I think, after today. The area from Jackson back down through the Memphis area and Collierville, Tennessee, they have allowed those severe thunderstorm warnings to be dropped. So we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings on the line of storms that's now east of Memphis, and this will be the part of the line that affects parts of southern Decatur County and Hardin County and Wayne County down the line. So again, we can't forecast the future. We don't know what's going to happen in an hour or so when that part of the line gets there. But right now, the area from Humboldt down to Jackson and just east of Memphis seems to be weakening a good bit. So the 2 strongest storms that we continue to track on radar is going to be the storm coming out of Centerville that we've been talking to you about. We'll go back to our other radar source for that one. There we go. Can you still see that, Will? Yeah, we've got that. So the sail south of Wrigley is still a very strong thunderstorm, although it is weakening. So a weakening trend is a good trend as it comes out of Hickman County. Going to be coming up into Williamson County and northern Murray County over the next few minutes. But again, no tornado warning on that. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. Rotation is still there, but much, much weaker than it was when we got that tornado warning issued for Perry County just a little bit ago. So again, the next line of concern continues to be this segment coming into the Humphreys County area north of I-40. So this is coming out of the New Johnsonville area, coming out of the Eva community. It's going to be coming right into Waverly, Tennessee over the next probably 10 to 15 minutes. We can do another storm track here in just a moment. But again, Bold Spring, Waverly, McEwen, and the Tennessee City area, which is just across the county line in Dixon County, all you guys are in that severe thunderstorm warning, which means you may see damaging wind gusts to 60 or more and some quarter-size hail. So we'll, if you want, we'll do a quick storm track while we go back to you.
That are in, Perry, Decatur County, Humphreys County, Lexington over to Henderson County, you're still going to get rain, you're still going to get lightning, you're going to hear the thunder, but that doesn't mean that it's severe. So we're still going to have some storms move through. That's typical for this time of year. What we're focused on are the ones that are reaching those severe limits and producing the severe thunderstorm warnings. And so that's what we've been highlighting. But a lot of us are still going to experience rain tonight. We're just hoping that it's not going to be that level, even though it may sound like it outside. That it's not, according to the parameters that the National Weather Service watches, going to reach those. So let's do a quick reset before we do a couple of tracks there with Drew. My name is Will Nunley. I'm along with Storm Specialist Drew Richards, and you're listening to our ongoing severe weather coverage tonight on the radio on 101.3 WOPC FM and 96.7 FM WNKX Centerville. You're also streaming along with us tonight, not only on those digital platforms, but we welcome all of you watching tonight on Tennessee River Valley News as well. And we're certainly thinking about our neighbors in Murray County and Columbia that have experienced so much. Lots of you in Hohenwald have damage as well from the hail that came through. It's been a long day. I know you're tired. We are too. But our job is not done, and our job is here to inform you and do our best to really provide hyper-local coverage for our communities here in our various signal areas that we cover with the radio stations and our digital partnerships to make sure that we're speaking directly to you and that we're doing our best to answer your questions. So we're not trying to treat this like a speed race. We're trying to be methodical in where we're going and making sure that we're answering as many questions as we can. And hopefully you can just put this to the side on your pillow and stream along with us and still try to maybe get some sleep. We'll let you know if there is a county or a community that needs to be taking shelter. The good news is, Drew, we don't see that scenario right now. We have severe thunderstorms, but I don't see, and let's see if you do, I don't see anything that warrants any type of added anxiety right now in terms of having to go to a safe space. This is just some of the thunderstorm activity that we knew was going to be coming through here. It's materializing. We're seeing it here, and hopefully we're seeing some signs of maybe even a little bit of weakening.
Yes, the radar site in Camden is now getting clear from that big line of thunderstorms, so we're getting a little bit better view from our local radar. While we are still trying to get some of that heavy rainfall out of the way, we want to go over to our Fort Campbell, Kentucky is a little bit closer to this part of the state than the Nashville radar. So we'll quickly go back over to our Weather Service NEXRAD, and that storm out of Centerville, Will, still very good news. You'll see, there we go. So we're continuing to lose the purple colors on radar. We're losing our hail core that we had just a few minutes ago
at our studios. So,
gotcha.
So friends, if we do for some reason lose power, as soon as we get it back, we will rejoin you. But that just happens. That's something we can't control. But our CPUs are working overtime right now trying to keep up with that. But continue. Go ahead, Drew.
I know, and that's probably the leading edge of the wind, Will. So that is the one thing I was about to mention. From Waverly to Lobelville, you guys are out ahead of that strongest line of thunderstorms, as you see. But like we've been talking about all night, that little gust front seems to be outrunning the line of thunderstorms. And that, again, is very, very good news, because if you were watching us earlier today, when we're tracking the monster tornadoes, we keep talking about how they have to breathe and they have to ingest warm, humid air to stay healthy. Well, what happens is when you have these line of thunderstorms like we do now tonight, when the gust front outruns the thunderstorm, it really chokes the thunderstorms off. They can't suck in that warm, humid air that they need to stay alive and stay strong to severe. So we're really continuing to see that downward trend, and that is just the greatest news that we've seen all day. Still, we have severe warnings, and I think we'll continue to have severe warnings, probably for the next little bit. But strongest storm that we're tracking now continues to come out of Benton County to the Humphreys County area. Notice the lightning tick up that we have here just southwest of Waverly. So one thing I want to look at, Will, anytime we see that lightning spike, I do start getting a little bit worried about rotation starting to pick up in the thunderstorm. Thankfully, that does not seem to be the case in this particular storm. So we do have a little bit of area of shear or spin near Bold Spring and southeast of Waverly and near our studio location here west of the Lobelville area. But I think that's more outflow winds that we're detecting rather than actual spin in the line of, or in the storms. If you think about it, earlier we had the big storms off by themselves and everything we saw was rotation. Well, we've had a south wind all day, and now with this line of thunderstorms, the wind is shifting around to the northwest. So obviously we have a big shear axis, as it's called. When you get the wind shifting from the south to the northwest, you've obviously got spin all up and down the line of thunderstorms. But again, I don't see anything jumping off the screen at me right now to be a worrisome tornado threat. Looking at the hail core continues to be southwest of Waverly. So New Johnsonville area, you probably got some quarter-size hail. Coming into the Waverly community in the next 10 to 15 minutes, you're probably going to have some dime, nickel, and quarter-size hail falling out of the sky as well, as with a damaging wind gust possibly up to 60. So on nights like tonight, we can really use the hail indicator from the thunderstorms to kind of figure out where we need to focus our attention. So right now, as we zoom back out, look at the entire area, and let me turn off the lightning for just a minute because it can kind of block the radar view. Notice the little hail core east of Centerville and the hail core southwest of Waverly, and that's it. We don't have any other hail being indicated in the thunderstorm. So again, just shows you that we are continuing that weakening trend in the line of storms.
And I could verify, Drew, a little bit of that wind activity. We can hear it, even though we have a very well-built building. We can hear it outside and roaring around these old oak trees that we've got outside. So we definitely have that wind that we're experiencing, and don't want to discount what's happening as well over in places like Wrigley, just north of the Duck River, south of Fairview. You have a lot of lightning. You have a lot of noise associated with what you're going through there. You're still wrapped up in a severe thunderstorm for that reason. And then we have also Holiday, areas of I-40, waiting to see some clearing there. Waverly, it's about to get noisy for you. and that was where one of the areas where we possibly, as Drew was just saying, have some hail. I want to pass along a couple of good notes, though. I know we're looking for encouragement. We're looking for reasons to go to bed right now for a lot of our area, and all of the warnings, according to the National Weather Service, are letting us know that this is focused on the wind threat in the storms, that the hail threat has decreased significantly over the last several minutes. So, all right, so, and it looks like that they're about to reissue the warning for the storm moving into southern Williamson County. And so what we're talking about is this one that has started over Perry County. This is the one that's now moved through Centerville, and I was just talking about it there just south of Fairview. So it looks like we're about to see another polygon issued here shortly for that, as that the severe thunderstorm is going to ramp up as it starts to move north of Spring Hill, another area that does not need thunderstorm activity, but that's going to happen there. But the National Weather Service is saying that there is a end in sight, and this is happening because the last of the final line is cleared, the northwest corner of Stewart County. And so that means that once we get behind this, things are looking good, and we can get 2 hours of sleep before we all have to be back up for work. But that's just how it goes sometimes. We haven't had an all-nighter like this in quite a while. But yeah, we're going to have a
That is true. We've been blessed so far this spring.
That's right. And we have been. And that's one way to look at this, is we haven't had time after time where we've been dealing with a lot of this. But these nocturnal storms are such a concern because, I love to sleep through a thunderstorm. I can't do that anymore because of my job, but I love to be able to sleep through a thunderstorm. A lot of people do. And we want to be able to tell you the difference between this is a good soaking thunderstorm that you can sleep through and something that you need to pay attention to. And so we've had a few still here in the area tonight, as we saw that warning from earlier that really came out of nowhere with this Perry County storm. Well, not came out of nowhere. We saw it developing, but it just developed quickly, I should say. So these are still some of the storms that we want you to pay attention to and not necessarily just sleep through, especially for our northern parts of Centerville. We have a lot of our WNKX coverage area for those of you listening to us on 96.7 FM. We have a lot of our signal and our coverage area there that is wrapped up in the severe thunderstorm, and there you see the new warning area there, including Franklin, almost stretches all the way over to Smyrna. So they're really trying to get some folks ahead of this storm. They must have some confidence that that's going to stay together. And I'm going to be watching to see if this dividing line that is keeping the thunderstorm warned area between Parsons and Linden, if that's going to result in another severe thunderstorm warning for us. But we do have two areas to really watch, and that is what's just now starting to leave Hickman County, moving into Spring Hill and Waverly. Two places definitely worth watching right now. You can see it just inundated with lightning and some strong wind too. We're still experiencing those gusts here at the studio. I want to take you real quick. It kind of goes back and forth between night vision mode and day vision mode, but there's one of our cameras. We have several to be able to offer you, and that's one of our cameras from downtown Linden, kind of showing a different view of things. And we also have Clifton in here as well, and part of Main Street in Perry County, and of course a couple of views of the courthouse. But what we're not seeing is a whole lot of lightning in this area. We've had some shots of that from earlier, and we still see it occasionally in the distance, but that's starting to improve as well. So Drew, out of everything you see on this screen right now, I still feel like it's worth paying attention to Spring Hill and closer to home, really what's happening between the interstate and Waverly. But you know, what are if you had to kind of frame how this storm is looking on the Tennessee River moving into Perry County, do you feel like another warning might be on the horizon for that?
Right now, they may play it safe rather than being sorry. So I don't see any indication on radar of significant rotation. I do see some spin, especially from Lobelville up to the north near I-40. Looking at our hail product, I don't see really any indication of hail, like you said, from the Weather Service whatsoever. Our hail threat seems to have really gone down over the last 30 minutes or so. But I'd say I'm 50-50 right now on if they extend this warning into Perry County or not, because really what the Weather Service looks at when they're issuing these warnings, are they receiving reports? And if they're not getting any reports of damage, then they may let these warnings expire and issue what we call special weather statements on the storms, which mean they're strong, They'll wake you up, they'll get your attention, but they're just below that severe criteria. So right now, if you'll check chat, I don't see anything again coming across on my side. And if you don't see anything in chat, I think so far, Camden, Waverly, Big Sandy area, back to Decaturville, Lexington, Henderson even, we don't have any reports. So again, that is great news coming to you. No wind reports, no tornado reports, no hail reports at all over the last hour or so. So again, noisy, but thankfully not severe.
And Drew, do you have any products there that could show us some of the temperature changes associated with this?
Yes.
As this front moves through. And while you're looking that up, I'm going to go ahead and pull in our severe weather alert system, because we have lots of rain here over our head at our studios, our worldwide Perry County headquarters. We appreciate everybody streaming along with us tonight. If you're just joining us, maybe you have thunder that's woken you up. We're here to guide you through these storms, not only with our radio partners, WOPC and WNKX. We're live on both of those stations right now, but we're also streaming with our friends at Tennessee River Valley News and the digital products and some other partners. And feel free to share this stream for anybody that may be texting you saying, I can't sleep, what's going on? We're here to guide you through that, don't worry. If you're south of, let's say, Highway 412, in places like Clifton, South Tillow, Summertown, Mount Pleasant, Columbia, Colioca, Kimmins, Hohenwald, you're okay for right now. Things are looking good. You have a break. Maybe you're hearing some distant thunder, but you're not in anything right now. We're watching areas like Parsons, Decaturville, Waverly. And right now on your screen, you can see our severe weather alert system. And this is a quick glimpse of everything that is making noise and certainly causing for warnings to be issued. And now we have some countdown clocks that are on the screen. You can see this one here for Benton, Decatur, and Henderson County. This is the one that we are watching to see if it gets issued for parts maybe of Humphreys and Perry County. Right now it has 10 minutes left on this one. 10,000 people within the population center of this that are affected. So hopefully that will be allowed to expire, and maybe that will be it. Maybe it won't regain enough strength to have severe levels. So we'll be watching that one. And of course, they're still watching this that is moving towards Davidson, Murray, Rutherford, and Williamson County from earlier. So Drew, I'm going to bring things over to your product where it looks like we do possibly have some temperature overlays to kind of see, is there a difference in, in all this noise? What's it for? And is it really lowering the temps back behind it?
That's it. And it is pretty significant difference as we zoom out just a little bit. So 72 in Columbia, Tennessee, 73 Lawrenceburg, 77 down in Corinth, Mississippi, 79. It's almost 80 degrees at 2 o'clock in the morning in the first week of May. Technically, I guess the second week of May in Bolivar, Tennessee, ahead of the line of thunderstorms, 79 down in the Shoals, and still almost 80 in Tupelo. And as we go behind the line of thunderstorms, we're going to back this up just a little bit. I've got about a 2-hour loop loaded in. So we're going in reverse mode if you're watching with us. And notice Jackson, Tennessee, as of about midnight, 77 degrees, 81 still in Memphis ahead of the line of thunderstorms. And as soon as we got that wind and the heavy rain, we're dropping off into the mid 60s. So, we're not in the middle of winter time, so we're not seeing a huge temperature drop, but when it's 2 in the morning and we're going from 80 down to the mid 60s, obviously that's enough temperature difference to stir up the atmosphere. And even more importantly, we talk about dew points. The dew points is your true measure of how much humidity and moisture content is in the air. And we've had dew points in the lower to middle 70s all day long today. Guys, that is like middle of July, August humidity in the first week of May. It's not unheard of, but when we've got that level of humidity combining with a cold front and a storm system coming in, more than enough ingredients. So if you look right behind the line of thunderstorms at our dew point numbers, we go from the lower and middle 70s in North Mississippi, southern middle Tennessee, where we are ahead of the line. Dew points drop into the 60s up in Missouri, and then they even drop into the 50s and 40s as we zoom all the way out and go back into the central plains, as a lot of that dry air behind the storm system will be moving into our local area as we go throughout the day on Friday. You'll notice the lower humidity, and you'll really notice it this coming weekend as well, with temperatures in the morning maybe in the upper 40s for a few locations this weekend, and highs a lot cooler during the afternoon as well.
Lots of reports coming in. We appreciate all of you that are taking a moment not only to stream along with us, but let us know what you're seeing. In Scotts Hill, Tennessee, seeing a lot of storm activity. We say hello to Melanie there. Henderson County, lots of wind whipping around. This was from Amanda a few minutes ago, and hopefully that will all be past you. Lobelville, Nicole says, getting lots of rain and wind, and heavy rain and wind in Darden. And Chelsea saying that the temperature is dropping a lot in Parsons, where she's through. So that's all kind of what we were showing you there with these temperature changes and how things are looking. So again, we are watching everything we have Rachel wanting to know about Bon Aqua. Bon Aqua is improving, Rachel, because that's now going to start to move towards Williamson County in 840, but it's still going to be loud there for a while. And so Bon Aqua is still going to be experiencing and hearing that thunder for a while. But that's going to start improving for you. Mark letting us know that we have a power loss in Powerville as well. And Camden, right off the Kentucky Lake, lots of rain, lots of noise, says Sammy. And absolutely, that's what we're going to experience for a little bit longer before this starts to improve. So again, we want to do our best to highlight a lot of the communities along the way as we're covering several counties tonight, and kind of hopping around to make sure that we're giving you as much coverage as we can, answering as many questions as we can. But this radar, this image right here tells a story, because this is round 2. We're in the heart of round 2. If you're in Lexington, you're past round 2, even though you still have plenty of heavy rain over you. You've now gone through that temperature change, and you're starting to lose some of the steam that's going to be a problem for this. But in areas like Centerville, and are you operating on 360? Where are you right now, Drew?
I'm kind of going back and forth on both, okay. So wherever you need to be.
I'm going to pull up 360 here, because this really gives us great detail of where this line stands, because this round 2, the heaviest of this line, is now really in our area. You can see Centerville, and you were talking about Bon Aqua earlier, and what I was talking about was this thunderstorm that's now moved on to Franklin. You're about to get another round, because we see what's moving through here with Waverly making a little bit of a southeasterly direction, almost a little bit too. And so Centerville, you're just not done, but you're about to be. So if you can get through this line, you're going to be looking better. Linden, you're experiencing this right now. As a matter of fact, I think we probably have some of these cameras that we're showing some of the rain in downtown Linden as well, because we definitely have it that's affecting our studios out here. We can hear it very clearly out here. Let's see if we can bring up one of these Linden cameras specifically. No, not a whole lot of downpour yet in Linden, but it's coming there very shortly.
You can see the flags have already spun around too, to the west and northwest there, so getting that outflow wind already in downtown.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have wet streets for where this has been a long night. There's one of our deputies actually out. I told you that's what they're doing, is kind of patrol the roads, making sure all the sticks are out of the way and everybody can move clearly. And so that's what we're seeing right now from our downtown camera there in Linden. But this is the picture that we're wanting to show you, because if you're waking up and you're saying, okay, they said it was going to be a middle of the night thing. Is it here? And how much longer do I have to deal with this before I can sleep finally? What we were hoping for is that severe thunderstorm warning that was covering parts of Lexington, Henderson County, into Decatur County, that it would be allowed to expire. And sure enough, if you watch, it kind of goes down and gets smaller, and then on the last frame, boop, it's gone. So we right now just have lightning, thunder, a good old spring storm as this front moves through in Linden and Perry County, so we're hoping it stays that way. Waverly, you are still in a severe thunderstorm for a little bit longer, a little bit more of a hail concern that we've seen there tonight. As we move down towards Savannah, Hardin County, you are just right now going to get rain. We have no severe thunderstorm warnings for you. And so we are going to stay on as long as we have active severe weather warnings in what we consider most of the heart of our coverage area here along the Tennessee River Valley and Centerville over to places like Murray County, all part of the WNKX coverage area. So that's why we're on, and we have several different communities that we're working to make sure that we're talking to tonight and working you through this storm. So the good news there, Drew, if you're looking at this, the more of those little orange boxes that we can make disappear, the better.
That is true. One area of note that is kind of sort of catching my eye, we're going to stop the loop on that here. Looking back to the west of Selmer first, Bolivar, Tennessee, that's a little bit stronger portion of the line. So if we had to roll the dice and say, hey, where's the next warning going to be if we have one, it might be for portions of Bolivar and Selmer, well outside of our coverage and listening area. We'll have to watch that part of the line for Savannah down the line. And then the other part that I noticed here on our Severe View 360 radar, just west of Centerville. So no warning, but you've got the gust front or the line of storms coming through Wrigley, the Nunnally area, and downtown Centerville. We flip over to velocity or rotation, and we do have just a little bit spin. I made that dual pane. I did not mean to do that. I apologize. It's late. That's the button I was looking for. So there's our rotation product. Earlier, when we saw that red color, we were really concerned about a tornado. But again, this is a different scenario tonight. We're looking at a line of thunderstorms. And while we do have some spin there, I don't think it's quite enough to issue or even a severe thunderstorm warning. Because again, we're looking at a strong storm, probably some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming now between Lobelville, Nunnally, and the Centerville area. So again, strongest part of the line just south of I-40 and Hickman County, but not strong enough for the Weather Service to issue a warning for that. We'll notice the lightning kind of upticking there just south of the Bold Spring area. So again, when we see that lightning strike start to increase on screen, that's our kind of early indication that something may be trying to get stronger in that part of the line. So again, most of the lightning northwest of Centerville, Spring Hill over to Franklin. That storm's moving out of our coverage area. That one continues to be a pretty hefty storm moving into Williamson County. And then other than that, northwest of Linden, right here close to our studios, a lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning, but not a whole lot of wind, it looks like, in this part of the line.
Yeah, we continue to track some of the areas like Franklin moving out of Williamson County, because that's going to be worth watching as that storm continues to hold its own. It's one of these that is really maintained strength, and it is now pushing towards the I-65 area, so that's going to be something that we're watching as well. And also this area of activity here near Hohenwald as well. And so I'm going to bring in, make Severe View 360 full, because I know that you're kind of going in for a new scan. Are we moving radars with this one?
We are. We're going back to our live local radar. We've been on Nashville NexRad, but now we've got those storms clear of the Camden area, so we should have a really good view of our line of storms coming into our local area once again. So we're just going to go in and we're going to scan the skies and see maybe if we have anything in here that we're at a low elevation that we're not able to see from the Weather Service radar. So let's flip over to rotation, and as that loads up, I believe. There we go. We got it to load up.
There we go.
Again, just a little bit of spin. Parsons, Linden, Lobelville, but nothing that's too concerning right now. So what you would expect to see on a velocity product, northern Perry County into Humphreys County, Hickman County, Decatur County, again, gusty winds, but I do not see anything that is worrisome for widespread damaging winds or definitely not a tornado at this time. That severe thunderstorm warning for the Waverly area, Humphreys County, Dixon County, Houston County, that's probably, I don't know how much longer we've got on that one. I don't have my countdown clock turned on my screen like you do on yours, but that one's probably going to be falling off here pretty quickly.
Yeah, looks like it is expiring in 14 minutes for Dixon, Houston, Humphreys, Montgomery, and Stewart County. 14 minutes left on that one. And I wish that I had little wiper blades to be able to show you a little bit better picture, but I'm going to take this full. This is in downtown Linden, looking at some of the heavier the storm activity in Perry County, back towards a little bit of even where we are tonight, where our studios are. So you can see that lightning in the background a little bit. I'm sorry that it's all a blurry mess, but that happens in the middle of rain. But certainly still heavy rain here for a lot of our area, including the heart of downtown Linden, and hopefully an improving condition tonight. And while you mention it, Drew, let's go ahead and just take a minute while you are kind of looking over some things there. And I want to take people back to our exclusive Severe View hazard alert board. And this is, again, all of the active warnings in Tennessee. This is not just in our immediate area, but this is actually a quick scan of everything that is happening through the state of Tennessee right now. And this gives us a great visual of everything that's happening. And so we're able to see this flash flood warning that's for places like Cheatham, Davidson, Macon, Robertson, Smith, Sumner counties. Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning that's starting to interact with Davidson, Murray, Rutherford, and Williamson County. This is a big one because this is one that is going to affect parts of Murray County, what we're understanding from the National Weather Service right now is that this warning is not affecting the areas that saw storm damage. It's north of that, but there is still a little slice of Murray County that's involved in this. So let me just run through this real quickly because we have a lot of folks in this area, especially that are worried about everything that's happened there in Murray County today. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning, 28 minutes remaining on this. Severe thunderstorm warning for southern Davidson County, western Rutherford, northern Murray County, and Williamson County until 2:55. At 1:58, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a storm capable of producing a severe thunderstorm was 15 miles north of Columbia, moving east at 40 miles per hour, 10 miles south of Fairview. So let's talk about some of the specific locations, and that's going to be I-65 between mile markers 51 and 75, I-24 between mile markers 59 and 74. And as we speak, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that's just come on. 42 minutes remaining in this one, just issued, and there are a whole lot of counties issued in this, or a whole lot of counties wrapped up in this one. Let's see if we have a population estimate. Yeah, 301,000 people involved in this. So let's go through this detail as well, because some of these same areas are also now going to get kind of overlapped with this one as well. Severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Davidson, northern Lewis County, southern Dixon County, northern Murray County, Williamson County, and south central Cheatham County and parts of Hickman County as well. This is going to last until 3 o'clock this morning. At 2:16, a severe thunderstorm was located 8 miles northwest of Centerville, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So these are starting to pick up some speed, Drew, as this front is trying to rush through here. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts could be along with this. The hail threat is diminishing, but they're still putting a penny-sized hail, and that's enough to hear. So let's talk about some of the areas involved in this. Franklin, Columbia, Dixon, Hohenwald, Centerville, Spring Hill, Forest Hills, White Bluff, Kingston Springs, Thompson Station, Burns, Fairview, Bellevue, Kimmons, Bon Aqua, Prim Springs, Natchez Trace at Highway 96, Bucksnort, and Hampshire. And so for areas like the Natchez Trace, Bucksnort, Lyles, Nunley, all of these are areas that are now seeing round 2 of round 2. But it's worth paying attention to. And so we have that heavy rain now, and this is kind of what, if you're in the middle of one of these areas, it's was earlier experiencing this line, that is a lot of the heavy rain that you're seeing right now. That's a live shot of downtown Linden as well. So let's make a full tour here with Severe View 360 radar. Drew, is that a product that we want to start on right now?
Yep, sounds good. We've got that kind of dual storm centered on your screen there. So we've got the first storm that you were talking about just before. We had that warning issued there coming pretty much on the north side of Spring Hill, coming through Franklin right now. And again, a little bit of rotation in there, but not enough for a tornado warning. And like you said, that is well north of the tornado damaged areas in Columbia. So about 10 to 15 miles north of the affected areas from earlier today. Great news there. But then I'm looking at storm number 2 coming through Wrigley, coming through the Centerville area as we speak. So again, guys, this is it. This is your final line.
That is almost all of Hickman County, though, Rap, and we don't want to understate what that is, how much of all of Hickman County that is affecting right now, because downtown Centerville, you're in it, Nunley, you're in it, Wrigley, let's see, Lyles is covered over in there somewhere too. So everything with Highway 100 is wrapped up in this as well, Highway 438 East. And so a lot of Hickman County involved in this. Once we can move through this in the next 30 minutes or so, things are going to look better. We're already having some calming conditions in our studios here, but we still have rain in the Lobelville area, Bold Spring, Waverly. We all still have some rain here, but it's a much more calm atmosphere behind this line. But don't discount, folks, what we're seeing right now, the severe thunderstorm warning that is going to be effective for 38 more minutes for a lot of these areas, including parts of Dixon over to Kingston Springs, Fairview, Leapers Fork. Leapers Fork, you're actually covered by 2 different severe thunderstorm warnings right now. And this is one of the heaviest areas as we look just north of between Spring Hill and Franklin, and also everything, if you're listening to us on 96.7 FM, make sure that you're off the roads. If you can be right now, please use caution if you have to travel this time of morning. And give this about 30 minutes, and you're going to see some improving conditions. But right now, Drew, lots of the county wrapped up in this very well-defined, very clear front that they're experiencing.
That's right. And if you're, like you said, anywhere pretty much in Hickman County, with the exception, about the only part of the county that I can find that is not included in that severe thunderstorm warning polygon is the part of the county that touches Perry County east of Lobelville. So if you're right there along the county line, Perry County and Hickman County, this technically has already passed you guys. But Nunnally to Centerville and all points north and east from there, this is a very large polygon. Like Will said, over 300,000 people involved in this new severe thunderstorm warning. So don't think we're having, again, damaging winds across the entire county, but we do have pockets in there of likely some damaging winds over 60, maybe some small hail, and of course a lot of lightning. Will, one thing that just jumped out at me, and you probably saw it update, getting a new little cell forming north of Hardin County here that we need to watch. We're on the Nashville NexRad. So let's quickly go out to the Memphis NexRad. Want to give our guys and gals an early heads up, maybe here in Linden or south of the Decaturville area. Need to look at that storm. There's no warning yet, but we like to kind of be on top of things here and give you the early heads up before there's an official warning issued. So we're going to be looking just east of the Sardis community, north of the Saltillo area. Not quite as impressive on the Memphis NexRad radar. So, I take that back. We just got an update, and there it is, northwest of Clifton, north of the Saltillo area, south of Scotts Hill, south of Decaturville. This is a new little cell that we've got firing up on the leading edge of the line of thunderstorms. Not severe yet, but we want to give you an early heads up because we do see some hail starting to be indicated in that part of the thunderstorm, maybe up to quarter size. And on this current track, it would move into southern or central parts of Perry County over the next 30 minutes or so. So again, if this storm continues to intensify, we may have a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for parts of southern Decatur and maybe parts of Perry County, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that right now.
And so what we're going to do is, you see a camera now in your double box screen that you're watching at home, and this is actually a camera view out of Clifton. So this is right along the Tennessee River in Clifton. So as that storm starts to march towards the Tennessee River area there in Clifton, we're going to see it. As a matter of fact, from this angle where we are, this viewpoint,
beautiful,
you will start to see that lightning in the distance. We just saw a little flash of it there on your screen. So that's what we're going to go ahead and keep this camera trained there, because not only can we show you, even though it's night, and I know it's difficult camera placement, we can show you this lightning as it starts to approach this area, and also what you're seeing is the wind start to whip around these trees a little bit ahead of this, because that's what we've had a lot of reports tonight, everybody saying, wow, the wind really kicked up ahead of this rain moving in, and that's the formula tonight. And so that's what we're seeing as we have this full image view here. This is courtesy of the Commodore Inn in Clifton, as we have this kind of crazy looking, that's the rain kind of moving through the night vision view of this. That's why it looks a little wild there. But wow, I mean, we're already seeing wind whipping around those trees, Drew. I mean, this is a live look at Clifton, and it's already really whipping those trees around.
And that's, again, Will, I love having this camera there, because that just reassures me that this is what we call an elevated thunderstorm. It's, again, behind that outflow, behind the gust of wind. So the primary threat with that storm that we just showed you in southern Decatur County is probably going to be some hailing out, because when we've got the wind well out ahead of the main storm, we talked about this earlier, it kind of chokes off the inflow.
And it looks
so
like, not to interrupt you here, I'm so sorry. But
you're good.
What you're talking about now is also catching the eye of the National Weather Service, because they are now starting to issue a statement. It is not a warning yet, but this is a special weather statement there for Decatur County as this is starting to move through. I want to hop around real quick before we continue this developing coverage with what we see happening in Clifton. I want to make sure that we're also serving our folks there that are listening to us on Kix 96 on WNKX in Hickman County, as they have an active severe thunderstorm warning. So I don't want to neglect that as well. We have a couple of different areas that we're hopping around on as we are in the throes of round 2 here. So we're going to do some hopping around. But let's talk about all that lightning that we're seeing around Nunnally, Wrigley, Fairview, Leapers Fork. You're having a little bit of a break, but we have a little bit more heading your way. Downtown Centerville, you're still of course, seeing that heavy rain right now. And so this is trying to make its way completely across Hickman County, but it's just going to take a minute. So we still have no less, of course, than 15 minutes left with this severe thunderstorm warning. Hampshire, you're going to be experiencing some of these conditions too. It's great on the other side of this, but it's noisy when you're going through it. And so we wanted to take a moment, and we'll double box there, Drew, with what we're seeing. Folks, for those of you streaming along with us, you're seeing the camera out of Clifton, Tennessee, with the Commodore Inn in Clifton. Lots of activity on that camera because you're seeing those trees just really move around, and the wind and the rain just kind of really pelting that area right now. And then we also want to couple that with the Severe View 360 live view of what's happening over Hickman County, because that is still a lot of population through there, and that's causing a lot of noise. And it looks like they were able to just trim back, possibly. No, I mean, my eyes maybe. Did they just trim back one of those?
Nope. You saw that. That's that eastern sail into Williamson County. So I saw that right when you did as well.
Okay.
Kind of shaved off the backside of that warning. So what we can do is take that back one frame, and you'll see what changed here. So they basically shaved that back from the Duck River area and up to Fairview. They took that part of the polygon and just shaved it right off. So again, the Leapers Fork area, Franklin, Spring Hill, Thompson Station, you guys are still in it for that first sail. Very heavy rainfall, gusty winds, possibly damaging winds, and again, maybe some hail. Hail's not a primary threat tonight. This is mainly a damaging wind threat, if anything. So again, round one coming out of Spring Hill up to Franklin. Round two right on its heels, Fairview down to Centerville and all the way down to the Kimmins community. Hohenwald, you guys, we haven't said your name a whole lot. We thought you were front and center earlier today when we had that big tornado warning coming right into Lewis County, and I know we had golf ball size hail in Hohenwald. But usually if we're not talking about your town on these live streams and this weather coverage, that is a good thing. Yep. So Hohenwald, you guys are technically in the polygon that we've been talking about for parts of Hickman County, Lewis County, Murray County. But Hohenwald, you guys may get split. The worst of the storm is moving off to your north right now, Centerville up to Nunnally. Another little storm that we have coming through Linden. It's strong, but it's not severe warned. And then the storm that we've had developing north side of Waynesboro and Wayne County, that'll be moving up into the Hohenwald area, but that one does not have a severe thunderstorm warning on it either. So Hohenwald right now, for the thunderstorm that triggered the warning, it has missed you to the north, and it's moving away up into the Fairview and the Duck River area as we speak.
And starting to see some organization, Mount Pleasant, Summertown, Etheridge, some of those areas. You're going to hear probably some thunder, but nothing, again, warned for your area. So we've had some folks asking down that way. And so we definitely do have some organization through there. But again, nothing that's warned. So we're going to let you know, definitely, if you are in an area that you need to be sheltering in place or that you need to be taking cover. And Drew, we will just kind of take this full. I know this is kind of nauseating to look at, but this is displaying a lot of wind here in Clifton right now. Over the Tennessee River, lots of frequent lightning with this right now. And that's what you've been tracking. This is now the result of resulting in, I should say, a special weather statement from the National Weather Service for some storm activity there, and it's pretty clear to see, but I know that's tough to stare at for too long, so we're going to bring it back out here. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead and continue a little bit of a radar tour. Let's actually look at your product here for just a second, because it kind of shows that overlay of where we're looking at in terms of, can you take the radar off? Yes, let's look at that for just a second, because I love this view. And this is showing you, again, the 2 active severe thunderstorm warnings that's stretching just south of Dixon, all through Centerville, all through Hickman County right now, north of Columbia, a little slice there. And then that area that you see in the gray, that is the special weather statement. That was what we were showing you here just seconds ago when we were showing you this crazy camera. So that is part of Clifton, part of Wayne County, part of Scotts Hill. And this is going to be moving towards parts of southern or Waynesboro and even Flatwoods area. You're going to experience some of this right now, and they may change these parameters and it may get upgraded, but right now just a special weather statement to let folks know that that's what's moving through. And then you see kind of the darker red color that is around all of these other areas here. That's going to be the the tornado watch that is in effect until 3 o'clock. And so that's a tour of all of the different colors here that you're seeing. And then when we overlay the radar there, that's why all of that is the way it is. And so we do have lots of rain still out here, but if we start to look towards the west, our northwest counties, a lot of these areas, places like Weakley County, just north of I-40 and that whole Dyersburg, Union City, the National Weather Service is already starting to issue essentially an all clear in terms of severe weather threat, because you can see those counties being dropped off of the tornado watch, and that's what we want to see. We're going to be here with you for a little while longer and hope that we can see more of that for our area too. And don't discount, of course, friends, what you're seeing around Murfreesboro, Nashville, Davidson County, because all of those areas are blinking green. And that doesn't mean green is good. That means flooding conditions and some very significant flooding conditions, especially along the state line. Places like Clarksville, Montgomery County, Robertson County have seen an incredible amount of rain. Some of it has just been stalling for a while, leading to some rescue situations. And of course, we did have everything that developed earlier tonight, or earlier yesterday, I should say, in Columbia, Murray County, involving a couple of fatalities with that tornado. So this was a day that the National Weather Service was urging people to take seriously. Very clear about 2 different rounds of this, and so we're in the middle of that round 2, Drew, as we are watching and waiting for some of these warnings to expire. Perry County, Wayne County, Lewis County. Lewis County, you are in a little bit of the severe thunderstorm warning, but you're not in one of the more impressive areas of it right now. But we're watching still what's developing just to our south there, Saltillo, Savannah, Clifton. You're definitely still experiencing a lot of this wind and rain right now.
And just like we talked about that cell that popped up north of Clifton, as quick as it popped up and got my concern going, we've started to see that storm kind of go back down in intensity. So a little bit of good news again, north of Savannah, well north of Savannah, and coming up just southeast of Decaturville. And that probably will be coming into the downtown Linden area over the next 15 minutes or so. But that hail core just kind of faded away. It blew up northwest of Saltillo near Sardis, Tennessee, Scotts Hill, Tennessee. It's crossing U.S. Highway 641 south of Decaturville now and really losing its strength. So very, very good news there. I do not think they will issue a severe thunderstorm warning based on what we're seeing on radar over the next few minutes. So again, the only warning remaining in effect in our local area, Lewis County, northern Lewis County, Hickman County, and then over into, northern Murray, severe thunderstorm warning.
And while you catch your breath there at the bottom of the hour, we're going to kind of do a reset. Welcome everybody that is up tonight because you couldn't sleep. You've been worried about this, I understand, and so we're here with you. My name is Will Nunley. I'm our anchor tonight. I'm here along with storm specialist Drew Richards. He's driving our radar systems and bringing decades of experience and understanding of these storms, and also how to tell the story of these storms and visualize that for you using our network of radars, including our own live local radar that is based out of Camden, Tennessee. We're very glad to have that to be able to bring you tonight. We welcome all of you listening on WNKX FM in Centerville, WOPC in Linden and Perry and surrounding counties, and those of you streaming along with us tonight on several different digital platforms, including those on Tennessee River Valley News. And if you're up tonight streaming along with us, this is the kind of night maybe you can set this to the side of the pillow there. Hopefully get sleep with one eye open for a little while longer. We're going to let you know. You'll hear the change in our voice. You'll hear us speak with urgency if this is a situation where anybody across southern Middle Tennessee tonight needs to be taking shelter. We don't have anybody in that scenario right now. This is the front that we've been waiting on. This is the front that we knew would be bringing some severe storms to our area. But most of these right now are just at the severe limit or are sub-severe, and so we don't have a lot of damage reports associated with this, and all of that is good news that I want to pass along to you. But it's still worth tracking. We still do occasionally see some hail that starts to develop. And speaking of hail, this was the storm story earlier today from Perry County. This was from the Beardstown area, and you can see some of that hail falling through there. And we understand why places like Hohenwald are nervous, because this is what we saw out of the Hohenwald-Lewis County area earlier today. And of course, this taking us back to Murray County, Columbia and Murray County. Let me take this banner down here so you can see this. So this is part of, again, what we've seen throughout the afternoon. Lots of damage coming into these areas, unfortunately. So we're thinking of our neighbors there in Murray County and Columbia that have had some cleanup to do, that are still trying to complete search operations. Most of the rescue operations, Drew, are over at this point, but they're still trying to people trying to make sure their belongings are in the dry. If you've had buildings that were damaged, trying to cover those. There's so much that has to happen immediately in those storm situations. So we're thinking of our neighbors there tonight as we are watching still a very busy radar here this evening. And Drew, I appreciate all the work that you are putting in tonight and have throughout all of yesterday. And hopefully we are starting to see a little bit of, a looser radar. And what I mean by that is we're seeing a little bit more of this intensity calm down. We're seeing a lot more spacing between these storms. Hohenwald, you're going to get some rain. Linden, you're rainy, but you're looking good. Waverly, light rain, but you're looking good. Lexington starting to improve. So hopefully we're seeing some disconnection from some of this severity.
Definitely so. And one thing I can do with this, our live local radar, we can just turn off the radar data for a minute. And again, I like looking at the lightning. So Centerville, that kind of sticks out on our radar. Lots of lightning still in your area. Spring Hill points northeast. That is still a very strong thunderstorm, hence why we have the severe thunderstorm warning on it. But notice back through Hohenwald, Linden, all the way back to Savannah, Selmer, and Middleton, Tennessee. Scattered lightning embedded in that line of thunderstorms, but just really not seeing the intensity at all that we had a few minutes ago.
Yeah, let me show folks here a quick view of several of our different cameras across our camera network, and I'm going to walk you through these busy screens here and show you what you're looking at. In the top left quadrant, is Main Street in Linden. You can see some lightning strikes there. In the top right, of course, the courthouse, and so a lot of the lightning strikes you'll see if they happen will happen at the same time in those two boxes there, but we're seeing a lot more lightning in the upper left-hand corner. And to the bottom left-hand corner, that is the Commodore Inn in Clifton. And so that is everything that's developing right on the Tennessee River. That camera is located right on the Tennessee River. And then, of course, we have a more aerial view of downtown in the bottom right. And that's what you're seeing there as part of our kind of collection of weather cameras, all look at a little bit of a different direction to give you this perspective as lightning is moving through. So the camera that's looking at the courthouse is enjoying a little bit of shelter, and so that's why it's able to give you a little bit better view. But believe me, there's still some rain falling there in downtown Linden at this hour. And we have one severe thunderstorm warning that is in the heart of our coverage area that we're concerned about here at 2:39 in the morning. 40 minutes away from when hopefully a lot of these tornado watches are going to expire. But that's going to be for the Wrigley area, Fairview, now starting to trim back parts of Hickman County and downtown Centerville, so that is a good sign. And Drew, you said that you were looking at lightning, and we still certainly are dealing with that here in parts of Linden, Lobelville, Hohenwald, now seeing some of this as well. And yes, Summertown, you do have some storm activity and parts of Murray County, but again, you're not included in any warnings. It's still looking good, just the kind of the rain, if we can just deal with that, get some of this rain out of here and remove the severity. That's what we want this cold front to be doing right now. And while you kind of show us some the lightning product and show us around a little bit, wow, look at that much improved view. Is this Memphis we're looking at, or
we're on Nashville, okay. So I'm going to switch back to Memphis to kind of see what's going on down the line of thunderstorms.
Yeah, because I'm very optimistic with that picture that we were seeing out of Nashville. It's almost too good to be true, but that was way, way far away from the Nashville radar. So I'm going to take a look here, and really we're not having a whole lot in terms of any damage reports flowing into the National Weather Service office, at least there in Nashville. So things are a little bit calming in terms of the let's see, we have a report in Martin, Tennessee, from the fire department there in Martin, Tennessee, of a tree that has fallen on a house on Highway 45 South. No injuries, and some trees down on the UTM campus there in Martin. And of course, we're going to have trees that come down with this. That's part of what Mother Nature does with these winds and the heavy rain, is it brings down, clears out that dead debris. So you'll have some trees and some limbs down with this. But yeah, I mean, how does this picture look? Because what we're seeing there covering Memphis is more of a flooding warning. But in terms of severity, not seeing anything new really starting to materialize.
Love what we're seeing on Memphis NexRad. Again, not for the flooding threat. Yes, flash flood warnings up now for Shelby County, Tennessee, including all of the Memphis metro area. But the outflow boundary that we've been talking about all night long is miles ahead of these line of thunderstorms now, as it's already into northern Mississippi. So Holly Springs, Mississippi, Corinth, Mississippi is about to get a good blast of wind from the northwest, probably 30, maybe 40 miles per hour. But that just continues to weaken the line of storms that it continues to move into the southern parts of our coverage area now. So I don't anticipate any other severe thunderstorm warnings coming out in the next little bit for our southern counties, Hardin County over to Wayne County, Decatur County. We can just about give you guys the all clear for the whole entire night for this whole entire storm system. Further to the north, we haven't really talked about all clears just yet. So officially, we like to wait until the National Weather Service clears out that tornado watch to give you an all clear. But unofficially, we can kind of go ahead and tell you guys where the storms have passed and your severe weather threat is quickly coming to an end. So even here downtown Linden and points north, pretty much along and north of Highway 412 from Perry County up to Decatur County. I just see we just lost that severe thunderstorm warning as well. Just disappeared. So the great news there. But again, Perry County, Decatur County, and points north, Humphreys, Benton County, Carroll County, you guys are just in the rain and in the thunder, maybe some gusty winds, but you're well behind the line of thunderstorms. So we can give you guys a all clear for the night.
So Drew,
Centerville still kind of
while you're doing this tour, I'm actually going to go ahead and put your radar products on the screen. And
that's fine.
If you will give me about 4 minutes here, because I'm going to hop between studios, I want to return our radio listeners back to your regular programming so that way you can enjoy some music to sleep to, because we have no active warnings. And even though we're going to stream along with you for just a little bit later, longer here on Facebook and on YouTube and things like that, when we lose any active warnings, we want to try to get the radio stations back to the regular programming. So if you're listening right now on WOPC and WNKX in Centerville, conditions improving for you, no active warnings, and we're going to return you to your regular programming here in just a matter of minutes. Drew, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you again, Will. So like we were saying, northern Perry, pretty much all of Decatur County, all of Henderson County, you guys can go to sleep tonight. Rain will continue, thunder will continue, but the severe threat is quickly coming to an end. Hickman County, you're going to still have some noisy storms, especially east side of Centerville for the next little bit, but again, no warnings currently in effect. Hohenwald, that's a pretty good thunderstorm coming in, but not severe. So again, maybe some gusty winds up to 40 or 50. Lots of lightning, lots of heavy rainfall, but no severe warnings currently in effect. And all the way down into the Waynesboro, Savannah area coming through you guys as we speak. So as we get this line of thunderstorms south of the US 64 corridor, that was when we'll be able to get it completely out of our listening and coverage area here locally. So again, looking at the wide view there on radar, no active severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings in our local area. Flash flood warnings continue from Franklin and Williamson County over to the Murfreesboro area, all the way up through the Nashville metro area, the Lebanon area, Springfield, all the way up through southern Kentucky. Widespread flash flooding issues tonight, where they've picked up 4 to 8 inches of rainfall. But here locally, again, localized flooding possible, but we don't have any flash flood warnings in our immediate area. So definitely good news there. As we go quickly to our other radar source, I want to see, so the gray that we showed you on radar just a few minutes ago, still in effect. That's basically a special weather statement that's going to be falling off the board here just in the next few minutes, with about 15 minutes or so. That was when we were tracking that line of thunderstorms coming through Hardin County and parts of Decatur County with wind gusts possibly up to 40. But as we turn radar back on, you'll notice we just really don't have anything too concerning in that special weather statement area. Storms are noisy, but they're definitely not severe as they come through Selmer, Tennessee, over to Savannah, and now coming into the Waynesboro area.
And so if we take a look across our area, Drew, do you feel like we see anything in what we consider the core of our coverage area? Let's say that that's from Columbia, Murray County over to Jackson, up to Erin, places like that there at the state line. Do you see anything, taking what's happening and developing in Murfreesboro and Rutherford County? We're going to stay to the west of that. But do you see anything in here that maybe with what's happening in Hohenwald that we feel like is going to develop into any type of severe parameters tonight? Or do you think that we're holding steady and calming down?
You know, there's still a chance. So until this line clears the entire area, there's, yes, still a chance that we could have a storm or two, go severe. Can't even rule out another isolated tornado warning for the, central southern part of our coverage area. But right now, strongest storm, I was going to say, coming into Hohenwald, but as soon as that radar updated, we kind of lost that hail product. So again, the Spring Hill storm, Williamson County coming towards Franklin, that is definitely one of the stronger on the board. Other than that, east side of Hickman County, coming out of Centerville, we've got a small hail core there. Just lost our hail indication over Hohenwald. So that storm seems to be weakening now for you guys in Hohenwald. Great news there. And I'm noticing another little uptick in Hardin County now. So let's quickly go back to Memphis radar. And it's not severe, but again, these storms are going to kind of bubble up. And as soon as they bubble up, if they're behind that outflow gust front or the wind shift line, if you will, they just really are not able to sustain themselves and stay strong for very long. So it's almost like taking the lid off of a boiling pot of water, and all the water starts to come up and it almost boils over, and then you put the lid back on it. That's literally what we're happening tonight in our local area, just because the storms have kind of choked themselves off. So as soon as we see that storm in Hardin County start to blow up, start to get strong, and we start worrying about it, just like we did the one in Hohenwald, then they kind of go back down. So I just got an update from the airport east of Selmer, the Selmer Municipal Airport there. Great news. North winds at 20, gusting to 29 as this line of thunderstorm moved through. So they're not even getting 30-mile-per-hour winds in the Selmer area with this line of thunderstorm. So that is why we are continuing to see no warnings. And again, I think the Nashville office let that warning go, didn't reissue, because, Will, as we've talked about for all night, really, not any immediate storm reports in our local area. We've had some northwest Tennessee, like you said, up near Martin. We've had some back near Memphis, but just thankfully no damaging wind reports or even hail reports coming out of the secondary line of thunderstorms.
And as we start to have storms move out of the Wayne, Perry, Hickman, Lewis kind of area of things, that kind of wraps up a lot of what is our core coverage area. And this has been a very long day for a lot of us here and a very long night. And so I don't want to continue streaming if we don't have any warnings really to bring you. We want to bring you the picture. And so what you're seeing there is, again, as Drew was kind of highlighting, a much improved picture all around for us. We still do have rain, but just because we have rain doesn't mean that you have to worry about it. Just because we have some lightning, some thunder outside, that's just going to happen. It's springtime in Tennessee, but it doesn't mean that it's severe. And Drew, actually, I want to, while you have it pulled up there, let's take one more look at that, because this is an improving picture every time we look at it. And again, as we go through what all these colors mean, what is this indicating to us? This is our coverage area right now. And you see that burgundy color, that is the tornado watch box that really should expire in about 10 minutes if all goes well. And right now we don't have an indication from the National Weather Service that that's going to be continued. So a lot of these areas, especially Huntington, Parker Crossroads, anything really north of I-40, a lot of these areas are greatly improving. And so we expect a lot of that to just drop off there. Still have that special weather statement. That's what's there in gray. And then, of course, we have our flood warnings towards Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, Chapel Hill, Brentwood. That's what you're seeing there. But, Drew, hopefully we can keep all of these warning boxes off of this beautiful chart that we see here and start to wind this down.
I agree. Again, great scenario, I think, played out for us here, second round. Unfortunately, first round kind of stole the thunder of the day. That was a full-blown localized tornado outbreak, especially just east of our local area. I cannot count how many tornadoes we had from the first one in Murray County, Columbia, to points south and east. I know the Shelbyville area had a close call tonight. I don't know if it actually touched down or not. The Murfreesboro area had a close call with a very strong supercell coming right over town. And then further south, the Giles County area, just outside of our coverage area, the Minor Hill and the Elkton area in Giles County, they had a very large wedge tornado with at least one person injured from that storm. Yeah. And then down further into North Alabama, Huntsville took a direct hit right up and over Montesano Mountain from a tornado earlier tonight. The Scottsboro, Alabama area took a hit. We had a very large tornado, and it triggered a tornado emergency in DeKalb County, Alabama, near the Henniger area. So if you have any friends or family members in Henniger, this was several hours ago, but again, we had a tornado emergency just like we did in the Columbia area with a potentially violent tornado that touched down over northeast Alabama. We've had tornadoes in North Georgia, South Carolina, Texas. Yeah, it's been a wild day, Will. So I am very happy that we are able to kind of put the ending note here on a good note with this line of thunderstorms greatly weakening as it's coming through the local area.
Yeah, absolutely, Drew. And I had some comments earlier, folks, noting that you really were on top of the development of that tornado that ended up affecting so much of our neighbors there in Murray County. So job well done for your navigation for us for some very long hours, very long day. Thank you for all of your hard work and calm presence during all of this and helping us understand the weather picture outside. And for all of you watching tonight, thank you for choosing Severe View and your local radio stations and Tennessee River Valley News as your source for news and information in our ongoing weather coverage. We hope that this was a good service to you tonight as well. We're going to let these storms play out, roll out. If we do have any other warnings, of course, we'll be happy to share this with you, but things are much improving. Drew, have a great night. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you as always, Will, and thank you everybody for tuning in today.